Can I now invite the President, South Asian University, to be on the dais, the Vice President, Professor Senthil Venugopal, and our Director Admissions, Professor Jain. A very warm welcome to each one of you. On behalf of the South Asian University, I once again extend a very, very warm welcome to each one of you. Thank you for being here. This is indeed a very special moment of joy and pride for us at the South Asian University as we announce our admission for the year 2024-2025. I will now invite Professor K.K. Agarwal, President, South Asian University, for his special address. But before I actually do that, I also take this opportunity to share with you that Professor K.K. Agarwal joined the South Asian University on December 27th, 2023. And we are so honored and so privileged to be a part of the institution under his stellar leadership. Professor Agarwal needs no introduction. It is, in fact, very, very difficult for me to capture his long and illustrious career in a few minutes. But very briefly, I'll do that. He's an engineer by training and has been an accomplished academician and administrator. Professor Agarwal has served the National Board of Accreditation, India, as its former chairman. He was the founding Vice-Chancellor of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi, where he served for 10 years from 1998 to 2008, leading from the front. Before this, he was the Pro-Vice-Chancellor of Guru Jambheshwar University, Hisar, for 3 years. He's also been the former chairman of the Board of Governors, MNIT Jaipur. He has a distinguished career of 27 years as an academic at the National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra, where he was engaged in teaching and research activities in computer engineering and information technology. Apart from his contributions in the academic field, where he's published more than 400 research papers in the domain of electronics and computer engineering, he's also made a very strong impact in the industrial world. That's a very rare thing in the field of academia. The industry has widely consulted him, most notable being his contribution towards the reliability analysis for PSLV of the Indian Space Mission. He was declared as the Man of the Decade, the Man of the Century, and the Man of the Millennium by American Bibliographical Institute, USA. On that very special note, can I now invite Professor K.K. Agarwal, President, South Asian University, for his special remarks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shweta, for a nice introduction. And it's my pleasure, friends, to be here this afternoon, to be interacting with you briefly about the upcoming session of the South Asian University. I see some of the faces having seen earlier in my earlier avatar as Vice Chancellor of IP University, but much has changed in the 15 years after I left IP University. Friends, as you are all aware, education itself has changed like anything in the last decade or so, particularly after invent of our national education policy. South Asian University is one such experiment which is probably unique in the world, I would say, where 8 countries come together, the governments of 8 countries come together to found a university. I am not aware of any other example of this magnitude where 8 countries collaborate to found an education and research institution, which itself makes it a very great privilege for me to head that institution. Friends, The university has been in existence for about 13 years. We started with a very small admission of 2 digits, early the 20s, 30s kind of thing. And today we have 600 plus students in the university. The model of the university, keeping in view the SARC fundamental principles, as far as governance is concerned, all the countries have equal rights. As far as funding is concerned, India pays about 57% of the recurring share, and other countries pay a proportion to their defined shares. As far as students are concerned, we take about 50% students from India and another 40% from SAR countries, where again it is divided 10% for this country, 10% for this country, 4% for this country, and 10% we can take outside the SARC nations. That is our student privilege. As far as faculties and employees are concerned, we are supposed to be taking representation from all nations, and we have that to some extent. Friends, with that model being a unique model, there have been difficulties also, because when the students from other countries come, there are issues by themselves, but the university has been bravely proceeding ahead. Only thing is, for about last 4 years, there has been no president, and in that scenario, the things obviously go a little low profile, because if the institution is headless, that's bound to happen. But governing board met 2 months ago and decided to give this responsibility to me, for which I am grateful to the representatives of all the countries to allow me to head this great institution. My experience for last 2 months, less than 2 months, has been great. Faculty is superb in competence, and they can deliver wonders. And I hope very soon you will be hearing a lot of good news about the various initiatives. As far as this press conference is concerned, keeping in your time and everything, I'll be very brief on this. We have at the moment about 600 plus students in the university, and all of them are PhD or postgraduate. There is no undergraduate student as of now. PhD students obviously take about 5 years of stay to complete their studies, and master students mostly 2 years to complete their education. We have 7 departments at the moment: economics, sociology, international relations, law, mathematics, computer science, and life science. So these are the 7 schools which are functioning at the moment at PG and and PhD level. I have found out that our PhD students have found placement in almost all countries in the world, best of the institutions in UK, in USA, and their respective countries. That makes me very confident of the potential of the university. The university was functioning from Akbar Bhavan till about a few months ago, and that was a serious limitation, because from the premises of a hotel you cannot expand too much. So that was a limitation. So number had to be limited. About 8 9 months ago, we have shifted to our own campus. It's a beautiful campus. Government of India is responsible for the land and the building of the campus, and the government of India has already spent about 1200 crores on the campus, in addition to the land which they have provided. We have made a beautiful campus, and hostels have yet to be built up, because there was some litigation on some parts of the land, which we are now starting, but not the allow the students to suffer. We have put the students in the staff residences for the time being, and asking the staff to continue to reside outside for a couple of more years before we sort out this problem. So with that background, friends, and we understand our charter is much more, because the whole philosophy and the concept of this university was that SAARC countries do not have that much financial resources to spend in niche areas of research, each one of them separately. While each one of them requires the access to the most developed technologies, most developed pedagogies, but they will not have the resources to do that. And that is where India came forward to say, why not we pool our resources together and do that, and equally beneficial to all SAARC nations. I again repeat, to my mind, this is probably the best case study of collaboration for any educational institution in the world. And when we talk about collaboration as one of the pillars of education, this is a case study which anybody can look at. Now, friends, this year we will be continuing with all these courses. In addition, we are adding slightly to the numbers. I'm restricted to add to the numbers much more till the hostels are built up, because international students we want to be put up in the hostels only, because otherwise there could be some issues. So what we have decided this year is, number one, for postgraduate students, which we were admitting about 250, 260 kind of it, against our advertisement of 400, because we have to take from each country, and each country has its own issues at times, and therefore many seats will not get filled up from other states, so other countries. So what I have decided is, instead of 400 or so, we will probably announce 600 or so that we at least make use of actual 400 numbers for which we have the infrastructure facilities available. As far as doctoral students are concerned, we'll continue our efforts to take about 100 fresh students this year also, in addition to what we have already. And here again, I learned there were many students who were who were not being admitted because we did not have the scholarships to pay them. Incidentally, this university is probably the most liberal university in providing scholarships and fellowships to the students. About 70% of the students studying it as South Asian University do not pay any fee and are rather given a lot of scholarships to study. So that's another very unique feature of this university, that best of the facilities, best of the faculties, and practically very little fees, which makes it a very worthwhile proposition, which we have to expand further. But I learned many students, looking to the facilities and the competence of the faculties, wanted to do research even without the fellowship. So fellowship numbers remaining as they are, we will even allow admission to some more PhD students this year if they are ready to join without fellowship, and if our faculty has the capacity to take them in. So in that light, there will be some increase. I believe this number will increase by about 200 or so. And then we are starting this year as a first experiment, MTech computer science we had, but we are now taking MTech starting from +2 students. For the first time, South Asian University will enroll some +2 students also for BTech computer science course, with niche areas on artificial intelligence and data science, etc. And these students have the opportunity to continue for MTech or take off at BTech. That's the model which we are starting. So with these two initiatives, I believe that the number of students which are in the university at about 650 today will become between 900 to 1000 during the coming session, and that is what we can accommodate for the time being in our residences. And next year, when we have the hostels starting, we will probably think of increasing these numbers. We have to go to many niche areas, because the concept of this university was, once again, there are many areas which all these countries need to explore. For example, climate change, sustainability, disaster management, crop rotation, energy saving. These are the problems of all these countries. Why should each one of them be spending separately on that? That is the philosophy, and we'll go with full thrust on these areas. Similarly, there are areas where there are subtle differences between the countries. For example, practice of law will differ from country to country, and we have to respect that. So maybe we initiate studies to find out of where are the comparative differences, and we may learn from each other and make the best of the uniqueness in diversity. So, my dear friends, this is the basic empirical picture which I intend to start from this session, which starts from July, and we are conducting the entrance test in April. My colleague Professor Jan will explain all that in very great detail, and infrastructure wise, I'll maybe you people have less time to walk to the university, but otherwise it is a treat to look at the infrastructure. And if you find time, we'll invite you one time there also to see at it. And Professor Venugopal will explain to you the infrastructure in a couple of minutes. So, and also I just want to highlight, because many of you might be covering, are covering international relations, but maybe covering education also. We are talking a lot about diversity. If you talk about Kavers ranking, THE ranking, NIRF, whatever, diversity is given a lot of weightage, because we believe in an academic world you learn from each other, and you learn from differing views, you learn from dissenting views, and this university has a built-in parameter for the students, platform for the students, where they have friends from 7 countries studying with them shoulder to shoulder. So that inherent capability, which other universities are struggling to have 10% foreign students, we have 50% foreign students. So that's an advantage which I like to highlight even for Indian students to opt for admissions here and be benefited. And with these few words, I think I'll stop here and answer any queries after the presentations have been made by my colleagues, and look forward to your support for very evolutionary working of this university in the coming years. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Can I now invite our Vice President, Professor Senthil Kumar Venugopal, for his brief remarks on the state-of-art infrastructure and campus development at the South Asian University. Professor Venugopal.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Shweta. Thank you all for being here, and I am happy to go through the infrastructure facility currently we have at Maidangadi campus. So just I will make some slide presentations, the photographs what we have taken. Just give him a minute. So, as President had mentioned, this university started its academic programs from 2010 with the two programs, that is economics and computer science. And then in 2011, a few more departments started, and then one or two more started in 2012. Initially, it started in old JNU campus, where I joined in old JNU campus, and then we moved to Akbar Bhavan. Then in Akbar Bhavan, we were been there since 2011 to 2022. Then 2023 January, we started our operations from Maidangadi campus. Then last 1 year or so, then we started functioning from there. And as President had mentioned, Government of India has given 100 acres land for developing the South Asian University project. And they also spent, as President had mentioned, 1,200 crores. Till now, it has been spent. And there are hostels need to come out and some more facilities which will come near future. That will cost around another 2,000 more crores. So overall, this is a very good project in terms of the infrastructure, and I will walk you through. So in the meantime, I will just talk about our infrastructure. So we have made several academic blocks and residential buildings. As President had mentioned that some of the land was under litigation when the buildings were constructed. So because of that, the hostels could not be made. Now some of the lands are cleared. So we are going to build the hostel buildings in near future, so that we can accommodate more and more students. And then we will expand more programs and new programs at South Asian University. As on now, we have several academic buildings are ready, where we will be starting these new programs in their respective buildings. So currently, the Life Sciences and Earth Sciences building is ready. Then Humanities and Law building, then Arts and Design building, then Physics, Chemistry, Mathematics and Computer Science building, Administration building, and then library, and then Institute of South Asian Studies. That is a very unique model where the university was established, that to start with Institute of South Asian Studies, where the whole whatever the like areas, climate change and alternate fuels, whatever President were mentioning, those we will be starting some of the programs under Institute of South Asian Studies, where it will focus major challenges which we face in South Asian region under ISAS. Also, another unique program what SAU is starting is interdisciplinary research centers, where these centers will combine experts from other SAARC nations and from India and in South Asian University faculties, all together they develop interdisciplinary research centers, where they will be doing cutting edge research, including social impacts and economic impacts and technology. So that is the idea of doing these interdisciplinary research centers, as well as Institute of South Asian Studies, along with the academic programs what we have been doing now, and we are going to expand new programs. And I will go through some of the pictures what we have in the campus pictures I put. So then we can go through them quickly. Maybe we'll wait for a minute. As President had invited you, I again stress on that you to come and visit the campus whenever you have time, and we can show you around the campus, and you will really see the photographs is only part of it. Also, we have all smart classrooms. All the classrooms are fitted with the monitors, where we can have the presentations, and we can also telecast. Like suppose if you want to do any seminars in other countries, the same time people can see from there. So that also we have here, and the smart classrooms. Other than this, we have state-of-the-art laboratories. They are there, and the students who were finished here, whether masters or PhD, they all went abroad or in their own countries, and they are either doing job or further studies they are doing. So that way, we have been quite successful academically in the last 10 years after starting these programs. That way, I'm very happy to say that all our faculty members have been publishing in large amounts in all scientific impact journals, and they have been continuously doing conferences, workshops in several countries. Till now, we didn't have any space to conduct those kind of courses within SAU, because we have been operating in Akbar Bhavan. Like what our faculties used to do is they go to different countries with the university. Like, for example, they go to Dhaka University or Royal Bhutan University. They go and do some conferences, workshops, where we attract more students. That way, we have very good diversity. And also, if you see, we have a lot of girl students studying in our university. That way, we have been academically doing very well. Now we are very happy that our president is here. He can guide us even more, and we can perform even better. And with the start of new programs, we really hope that we can achieve the greatest heights in what our president, Professor K.K. Agarwal, has come to accomplish. We'll be with him together, and then we will try to achieve excellence in our university. And we will wait for the pictures when they start. I think then we can show. That's all I have to say, but then I can show you some pictures when the projector is on.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Venu. As we are waiting for the pictures to come in, we really wanted to say that we'll welcome all of you to our campus. As the president has said, it's a beautiful campus. And if I can, with the permission of the chair, now invite the director admissions to give an overview of our admissions. We'll see if this starts working. Otherwise, towards the end, we'll be able to screen the pictures. And also, we have a brochure, an e-brochure, and a brochure also in your press kit. So you'll be able to see many of our pictures from campus on the brochure, as well as the flyer that we've put in the press kit. But we'll just quickly wait if we can get the pictures going.
We can wait it for a minute if it.
Sure, sure.
Maybe if it is okay, I can put my laptop.
Friends, I think you will have to come to the campus. We have much better control in the campus, and
What we can do is what the details of the admissions that we had on the PowerPoint, we are happy to share with you as a press release. Professor Jain, can we start? Okay, finally we are there. So we have the pictures up and running. Thank you for your patience.
Yeah, mic is actually not required. We are teachers, so we can, speak in front of even 100 people. So that is not an issue. So maybe you would like to show your picture. Huh? Yeah, okay. So, as I had mentioned earlier, this is the JNU campus, old JNU campus, where in 2010 we have started the operations. Then from here we moved to 2011 to Akbar Bhavan. Here we had been there till end of 2022. Then in January 2023 we have moved to this campus. This is taken in the evening, where the photograph was taken from one of the residential buildings, and these are the academic buildings what you are seeing. And what I forgot to mention that time is we are adjacent to SLO wildlife. So it's side of the universities of like more than 1,000 acres of SLO wildlife. And then here you see all the academic buildings. And then the other half is still we have to make hostels. And this is the overview of the campus. Like if you see this side and then this side all covered by Esola wildlife. There won't be any buildings in future. And the approach road is from here. And this is the approximately 100-acre campus. And what you see, the red buildings and the orange buildings are ready to go. And we will be starting new programs in these orange buildings. And the existing programs which are running in the red buildings and these orange buildings here are the residential complex where the students are staying in one of the buildings and then faculty and staff are staying. And these green buildings are hostels and then sports center. And all these will be developed in near future. And some of the land was in under litigation and they are cleared. So some of the hostels can be made. And then we hope once we get the lands and the whole, the green area, other rest of the buildings will be developed. And I'll walk you through some of the building. This is life sciences and earth sciences building. Its size building built-up area is nearly 45,000 square meters. And this is the physics, chemistry, mathematics, computer science building, which is again approximately 28,000 square meters. And all these buildings have underground parking. So there is no problem for parking even in future 20 years later, because every building has underground parking here. And this is Law and Humanities building, where again it is around 26,500 square meters. And this is again administration building, where a whole administration will be operated. And here the third floor is IT building, that is, which will control the whole campus, will be monitored from the information technology, where everything, BMS system, everything will be there. And this is library building. Again, this is going to be complete in near 2 months time. Then we will get this building. And Institute of South Asian Sciences building is ready. And it also has several classrooms and researcher rooms for interdisciplinary research centers. And this is the Arts and Design building, where we will be starting these programs once the hostel buildings started coming up. And this is the state-of-the-art convention center, where it can hold approximately 650 people. And this is the faculty and staff building, where faculty, staff, and students are staying currently. And this is guest house and the faculty club. And this is the what I mentioned, the smart classroom, where the computer monitor is there, the TV screen is there, which is capable of multimedia operations. And then the teacher is taking class and students are attending the class. And then now I will walk you through some of the pictures. This is our library building. Every building has a library in its own, for its own department. So this is the LSCS building's library, but the whole university's library is now here. Soon we will be moving the library to its library building. And these are the laboratories where we have state-of-the-art equipment, where students do their experiments and research. And this is one of the photographs we have taken some time back, when Secretary East and then Joint Secretary MEA, that is BIMSTEC, and the SARC Joint Secretary, when they visited, this was taken. This was more than a year-old picture. That time, you can see how committed Ministry of External Affairs is. So they have been constantly monitoring the project. They come and visit the campus regularly, and then they make the projects complete faster. And they give funds whenever the funds finish at SAU. They immediately release, and we never had any problems in funding from ministry. That way they were on top of the construction, and they are really helpful to complete the project. And now the photographs are all taken this morning. You can see morning how it looks. This is the residential building, and this is amphitheater. And behind the amphitheater, you can see all the flowers. And this is some of the academic buildings, where in the morning how it looks. And this again, morning how the campus looks. This is the residential building, and these are library, Institute of South Asian Studies is here. And this is from residential campus. If people walk, they can walk in the walkway. Here, there are no cars inside the campus, but only they go on the periphery, the cars and vehicles. Thank you. These are the pictures I wanted to show.
Thank you so much, Professor Venugopal. And with that, again, an invitation to visit our beautiful campus. Can I please now invite Professor Jain, Director Admissions, for a brief presentation on the details of the admission announcement. Thank you.
I would like to address you, while standing here, because simultaneously with my responsibilities as director, I'm a teacher of mathematics also. So I feel more comfortable, while I'm standing. So first of all, on behalf of the admissions section, I would like to thank all the media persons who joined here on our invitation, because here the event is to announce our new admission session 24-25. And as it has been already mentioned, that we have students, faculty members, administration, people from all different 8 SAARC countries. And this Foreign Correspondence Club of South Asia, there cannot be a better place than this to announce our admission here. So, I would like to, rather all of us would like to seek your support to spread our, admission campaign. Within India, it looks easier, but, when it comes to outside India, other countries, so you people will help us in a greater way of spreading our admission campaign. So coming directly to the admission, this year, this is the PDF, that is fine. No, that's a PDF. No, that. This is a. It should work. It should work. It should work. Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay. Fine. So, a brief, overview of the university already, this has been talked about. So the university was established in 2010 with an objective of equipping the young minds of the South Asian region with world-class cutting-edge knowledge and nurturing regional consciousness. It is a joint initiative of 8 SAARC countries, and these are the countries we all are. And we are located in Medangadi. Professor Senthil Venugopalan has just, gave a very beautiful overview of the campus and the buildings that we have there. South Asian University offers a unique blend of multicultural and cosmopolitan experience, drawing students and faculty from across South Asia. Just to give you a very small and a very good example, that, we in India as well as in South Asia, we are die-hard fans of the cricket sport. And when it comes to the cricket match between India and Pakistan, and we can see that the students from India and Pakistan, they all enjoy the same match together. And that is one of the good things that we can see in our campus, in our hostel life. And right now, we have around 600 students with 5 faculties, 7 departments, but the vision is to host 13 faculties and more than 5,000 students. And we hope that maybe in the coming, if not 2 years, but in 5 years, we hope to achieve this number. Now, coming back to the existing structure, we have 5 faculties: Faculty of Economics, Legal Studies, Life Science and Biotechnology, Mathematics and Computer Science, and Faculty of Social Sciences. Mathematics and Computer Science faculty has 2 departments, Computer Science Department and Mathematics Department. And social science faculty has two departments, Department of International Relations and Department of Sociology. Existing programs that we have right now, these are 7 programs of master's level. Each department runs its own 2-year master program. And similarly for PhD, each department has got its own PhD program. And for some students, there is an MPhil exit also. If a student does not want to complete PhD, or if there is, he score a little less than the required CGPA after the coursework, then instead of going back without degree, the student can go back with MPhil degree. So that we have. So these are the existing programs. Now, importantly, this year, we are admitting students for these new courses. At the master's level, we have MTech Computer Science 2-year program and integrated MSc plus MTech Computer Science, which will be 3-year. And also, we will be admitting students at bachelor level. So we have BTech Computer Science and Engineering, which will be 4-year program, and dual degree, BTech and MTech Computer Science and Engineering, which will be 5-year program. And here I would like to emphasize that the starting of the new programs, this was already in our framework until 6 months back. But our idea was to launch these programs in the next year, 25. But with the vision of our new president, so when he joined, then he, told us that why can't we do it now? So we did everything within, less than 2 months, and we are ready for this. Now, coming to the mode of admission, in BTech and dual degree BTech, MTech programs, there are 2 routes, 2 modes through which the admissions can be done. One is based on the JEE main, these exams are conducted by IITs. And then we have our own entrance exam, because outside India, those students, they cannot compete in JEE. So for them, we shall be conducting our own exam. And then master's program, other than MTech, they are all through our SAU entrance exam. And MTech program, again, there are 2 channels through which the students can come. One is through the GATE score, and one is through our entrance test. And lastly, the PhD program, again, there are 2 routes. One is through our entrance, and one other route is that if some student has got his or her own fellowship, like JRF or UGC NET, or the student is funded by some government agency, or the student is already employed, because we have seen that in other countries, say for example, Bangladesh, we have several students that they get job after masters, but then they want to pursue PhD. So they have an opportunity that they can get leave from there and come here, join the PhD and go back. So this is about the PhD. About the student intake, in BTech, the bachelor level courses, we shall be admitting 120 students. In masters, depending upon the subjects or the departments, we have 70 or 80 or 90. And in PhD, we are to admit 75 students, but it can go up to 100 if the students are, ready to get admission without any fellowship. Now here, I would like to emphasize the fact that before we shifted to our new campus in Akbar Bhavan, because of the size of the classrooms, we could only admit 30 students in each program. But as soon as we reached here, last year, 23, we raised this limit to 60. And I tell you that until yesterday morning, 11 o'clock, our plan was to take only 60 students in each program. But while discussing with the president, he motivated us that why only 60? We can go even higher just to have more students. So only yesterday we worked out that we can go up to 90 students even in some programs. Regarding the quota, as it has been already mentioned, that we have the funding is through all 8 countries. So in that ratio, the students intake is there. India has got 50% quota. Pakistan and Bangladesh have got 10% each, and remaining SAARC nations, they have 4% each, and we have 10% from non-SAARC nations. Now the strategy, or the thing is that if suppose we have some seats left out from different SAARC countries, so those seats will go to the non-Indian SAARC countries. And after exhausting all the seats of non-India, if we find that there is not even a single seat or eligible candidate available and the seats are still vacant, then only the seats will go to Indian candidates. So that's how it goes about. Now the test centers, the entrance test will be held or are usually held in all SAARC countries at the same time, same days. So in Afghanistan, it is conducted at Kabul. Bangladesh, we have 2 centers, Chittagong and Dhaka. Bhutan, again, we have 2 centers. Maldives, Nepal and Pakistan, we have 3 centers each. And Sri Lanka, we have 2 centers. So if we have enough candidates in all these centers, so these centers, they run. And in India, so the exams are conducted in 28 centers, so across all, all possible places. Now about the scholarship and financial assistance, as Honorable President has already mentioned that we are very liberal in that. About 70% or so students, they get scholarships. So a brief about that. Although for this year, we have not yet announced the scholarship because every year we update our scholarship policy. So the committee has been constituted, and I hope that in the next 7 to 10 days, the committee will give its policy for this year, and the same will be updated. So this is what we had last year, 23. So in master's program, we have 5 categories of scholarships. So we have SAU President Scholarships, SAU India Silver Jubilee Scholarship, SJS. This SJS is instituted by Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. They give some funds. They have about 100 scholarships every year, which we distribute, across all the students. There is a guidelines, 50% male, 50% female, and then the country-wise, and these are not given to India and Pakistan because of, the least developed countries are covered for these fellowships. So the rest 6 countries, they get these slots. For PhD, if the students are admitted through our entrance test, then they get SJS or they get our own fellowship. But altogether, every student will get or gets, 25,000 a month. And additionally, every student is entitled to get during the whole tenure of PhD 80,000 Indian rupees to travel to participate in workshop, conferences, and any other academic activities. So that way we are quite liberal in that. And whatever type of fellowship the student has obtained, he or she will be entitled to a tuition fee waiver, hostel fee waiver, and these waivers are also applicable to those PhD students who have joined with their own fellowship. Like if suppose some JRF is coming, so tuition fee waiver is for him also, hostel fee waiver is for him also. So that's how our scholarship, and we expect that the same policy should be there in the coming session also. Now, finally, these are the important dates. Admission application process starts 22nd February 2024, and with the permission of our president, so if I can say that if there is no technical glitch, as we saw here, the announcement should go live at 1 o'clock today. So the instructions are that. And the last date of application is 31st March 2023. The entrance test will be held on 28th and 21st of April. So because, we in each day, there are 3 sessions, morning, afternoon, and evening. So in all, there will be 6 sessions in which the entrance test will be conducted. And our session will begin on 29th July 2024. Usually the session starts on 26th of July. But 26th of July is the National Day of Sri Lanka. So we close that day, and then 27th and 28th are Saturdays and Sunday. So the session will start on 29th, which will be Monday. So that is all from my side about the brief of this admission.
Thank you so much, Professor Jain. And with the permission of the chair, now if I can invite everyone for us to release the brochure, the admission brochure for 2024-2025. Professor Agarwal, please. Should we stand? Thank you very much. And we will now open up for any questions that you would have, any clarifications that you would require. We would request you to please identify yourself and keep your questions brief, focused on the admissions 2024-25. Thank you. Yes, please. If you can have the show of hands.
या माई सेल्फ डॉक्टर रेखा व्यास शिक्षा में जो आरक्षण व्यवस्था भारत में है उसकी सार्क देशों में क्या स्थिति है और आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी उस नीति को किस तरह फॉलो करेगी, एक बात ये। दूसरा, ह्यूमैनिटीज के कुछ सब्जेक्ट्स, कुछ विषय आपने बताए, पर साइंस और ह्यूमैनिटीज का बहुत ही इंटरनल रिलेशन है, तो क्या आप कुछ और भी नए सब्जेक्ट्स के बारे में सोच सकते हैं? एंड एक लास्ट जो है, स्कॉलरशिप और फेलोशिप की जो राशि है वो तकरीबन कितनी होती है आपके यहाँ, और 2010 से लेके अभी तक आपकी यूनिवर्सिटी के बिग अचीवमेंट्स क्या हैं?
Thank you.
Thank you. You want me to answer in Hindi or English?
No, I wanted to tell you if you have understood my question in Hindi, then it's okay. Otherwise, I translate it for you.
No, whatever you want. I mean, okay. Okay, so then some of you may not understand me Hindi, so I'll be in English. First of all, there is no reservation policy in the university per se on the pattern of Indian government, because in the intergovernmental agreement under which the university is established, the reservation in that sense does not apply. It's only the country-wise quota which is obligatory for us. So that's question number one. Second thing, you asked about science and humanities. Yes, I think this is another very nice example of a world-class institution where science and humanities are together. And I think that is what I've told my faculties. It's a wonderful platform for us to work on climate change, on sustainability, on poverty alleviation, and all that. I'm a technologist, but technology alone does not solve all the problems. That's a well-known fact. And therefore, today we have to learn, and all our graduates have to learn, that development and sustainability have to coexist. Because otherwise, the world is facing what it is facing, which would not have been the case had we attended to both these together. So we will start all these centers for research to begin with, and then go ahead. As far as third question is on fellowship amount, all our PhD students get 25,000 rupees as fellowship. In addition, there is no tuition fee for them, and hostel is also free. So, which is something great. And master students get about 7,000, I think. So different categories, but so about 70% students there also get fellowship. Another thing which I thought I'll let you know, we are starting a new venture from this session itself, because when we hold the classroom, simultaneously the lecture is going online in most of the cases. Because some students from Afghanistan, Pakistan could not get the visa after admission. So we did not want to deprive them of the course. So each lecture is beamed online wherever the such situation is there. So with that being the case, we are now opening up from this year. If any professional or any student wants to attend just one course, not the full course, we'll register subject wise on a nominal fee. And once our class is running, timetable is on the website, they can register in those hours and attend that. Our law department, our sociology department, international relations department, and mathematics department have come forward with this idea. So that will benefit many more students. And finally, if somebody is patient enough to attend all the courses online, we will, and appears in all our assignments and examinations as usual, we will even give them a degree.
Thank you. Please just identify your
Hello.
name and, yeah.
My name is अतुल सचदेवा, राजनीतिक राजपथ न्यूज एडिटर। सर, एक तो मुबारकबाद अग्रवाल, आप 10 साल अपना आईपी यूनिवर्सिटी में आपने अच्छे डेवलपमेंट किए हैं। सर, ये जो 7 कंट्री का है, इसमें जैसे सबसे ज्यादा जो पीएचडी है अगर देखा जाए दिल्ली यूनिवर्सिटी में बुद्धिज्म में होती है। आने वाले टाइम में आपको बुद्धिज्म पे भी करना चाहते हैं, क्योंकि काफी आपके 3-4 जो कंट्री है बुद्धिज्म पे ज्यादा है फोकस। बुद्धिज्म तो इस पे कुछ आगे प्लान है?
एज सच नहीं है अभी, लेकिन क्योंकि अभी हमने कोई भी रिलीजन बेस्ड डिपार्टमेंट एज सच नहीं शुरू किया, लेकिन our sociology department, international relation departments, कोई बुद्धिज्म पे काम करना चाहता है and the student and the faculty are interested, we have no reservation.
सर, उसमें एक ये भी है कि बुद्धिज्म का जितना भी अगर अपना हिस्टोरिकल प्लेस है वो हिंदुस्तान में आपके बनारस है, अपना पटना साइड और अपना नेपाल तक, तो मेन क्या है कि अगर आज पिछले 10 साल का आप रिकॉर्ड निकालें तो डीयू में सबसे ज्यादा बुद्धिज्म पे पीएचडी की गई है। तो लोग बल्कि मतलब करना चाहेंगे, फॉरेन के स्टूडेंट भी, इंडिया के भी।
थैंक यू। डीयू में बहुत ज्यादा हुई हैं, उससे हमारा डायरेक्ट कोई रिलेशन नहीं होगा, लेकिन यदि कोई बुद्धिज्म पे करना चाहे और हमें उस पे कोई रिजर्वेशन नहीं है, विल encourage all subjects of interest.
Hugh, we had a hand here. Yes, please. Please identify yourself.
Kanchi Batra from Diplomatist. Sir, you spoke about diversity and also the allocation of 10% of student positions from outside South Asian region. So are there any plans to extend this initiative to countries in African continent? And also, are you offering scholarships to further facilitate this, enrollment, basically?
Scholarship to other countries. Scholarship to other countries, I cannot say at the moment, because our nations funded this university. So they have a right for the scholarship for their students. But we go outside, and so far the response from outside also has not been much. But if it comes to that, then any fellowships we could find ways and means, we'll see. But at the moment, we have not worked out that.
Thank you. There's a hand here, and then we go on to the, yeah. I can see 3 hands this side, so we'll just come one by
Sir,
one.
I'm from Entrepreneur Times magazine. Could you tell us about this BTech courses? You'll be following this AICT's curriculum or something of your own?
AICT per se does not apply to South Asian University, because by very act of South Asian University, you are outside these regulatory bodies. You have your own regulatory mechanism. But because more than 50% students will be from India, and they will be seeking employment maybe in India, we will by and large be guided by AICTE. But if some Bangladeshi students feel some more needs, we will have lot many electives to give freedom to it. But if some student wants to be guided by AICTE, we will have a provision for that 100%. Thank you.
Sir,
सर मैं उदय दैनिक जागरण से हूँ। ये मैं पूछ रहा था सर कि ये जो सार्क देशों से फंड आता था, मतलब इसके लिए, तो अभी कुछ फंड आ रहा है कि नहीं? सभी मतलब ये इसकी यूनिवर्सिटी की जो संकल्पना हुई थी वो ये सोच के हुई थी कि सभी लोग इसको मिलके करेंगे, तो क्या अभी फंड आ रहा है दूसरे देशों से?
थोड़ी सी फंड की समस्या रही है, क्योंकि पहले तो शुरू में सबसे आता था, उसके बाद धीरे धीरे किसी देश ने बंद किया, फिर अगले ने किया, फिर अगले ने किया। सो लास्ट 1-2 साल से थोड़ा फंड्स की प्रॉब्लम है। बट आई हैव स्पोकन टू ईच वन ऑफ दीज कंट्रीज एंड दे अश्योर मी दैट sir, now you have come to take care of the university and we are sure the university will function well. We will start paying. So it might take a year or so, but I have no reason not to believe them.
Thank you. There's a hand here in the second this thing, and then the gentleman behind.
सर जितने की देखा जाए तो अभी गवर्नमेंट की तरफ से वीजा लेने में बड़ी दिक्कत आ रही है स्टूडेंटों को, और जो कि यूरोप में ज्यादा स्टूडेंट जाते हैं आज की डेट में एजुकेशन के लिए। तो जो एशिया का प्रोफाइल है वो किस तरीके से उसको मैनेज करेगा? उन जो जितने भी स्टूडेंट अभी तक उनको वीजा नहीं मिल पा रहा है, बड़ी समस्याएं में है, वो जाते हैं और एडमिशन पे लास्ट ईयर भी बहुत रह गए थे, और इस बार भी अगस्त ये भी 4 महीने बाद सेशन शुरू होने वाला है। उस पर किस तरीके से आप हो रहा है, गवर्नमेंट से क्या इनिशिएटिव चाहते हैं आप लोग?
थैंक यू। वीजा के बारे में देखिए, हम फैसिलिटेट कर रहे हैं हर लेवल पर। अब इससे ज्यादा शायद कोई भी यूनिवर्सिटी किसी भी देश में वीजा के बारे में नहीं कर सकती। अब हमारे बच्चे अमेरिका इतने जाते हैं, अमेरिका से एडमिशन लेटर आता है जिसके बेस पे वीजा मिलना चाहिए, कुछ को नहीं मिलता। वीजा एक ऐसी समस्या है जिसका यूनिवर्सिटी किसी के पास कोई फाइनल फुल प्रूफ सोल्यूशन नहीं है। हमने इसमें यही सोचा कि हम जो फैसिलिटी उनको प्रोवाइड करते हैं, सुविधा प्रोवाइड करते हैं, वो करते रहेंगे। और दूसरा थोड़ा सा ये सोचा है कि पिछले सालों का एक्सपीरियंस देखते हुए, सपोजिंग किसी देश में वीजा 10% लोगों को ही मिलता है, तो हम पहले ही 25% ज्यादा एडमिशन दे देंगे। समझे ना, कि वो यदि 10 में से 2 आते थे तो हो सकता है हम 40 ऑफर कर दे तो 5-6 आ जाए, और ज्यादा आ जाएंगे तो संभाल लेंगे, कोई बात नहीं। अब किसी देश की कंट्रोवर्सी के बारे में तो ना मैं बात करना चाहूंगा, ना मेरा करना बनता है। हम तो पढ़ाने के लिए बैठे हैं, पढ़ाएंगे, जो आ जाएगा, जो नहीं आ पाएगा उसकी किस्मत।
आपकी बात का एक और मैं थोड़ा सा मैं कहना चाहूँगा कि पिछले साल अफगानिस्तान और बांग्लादेश, इनके स्टूडेंट्स को वीज़ा मिलने में बहुत दिक्कत हुई थी। हमने उन सब स्टूडेंट्स को एश्योरेंस दी है कि अगर आपको नेक्स्ट ईयर वीज़ा मिल जाता है इस साल, तो विदाउट गोइंग थ्रू एंट्रेंस टेस्ट हम उनको एडमिशन देंगे। तो ये हमने पिछले साल के स्टूडेंट्स को फैसिलिटेट ऑलरेडी किया हुआ है। 1 साल का गैप उनको दिया।
Thank
Hello, sir.
You can just identify yourself.
Sir, I'm Katyayani Preti from Navbharat Times. I just want to know if you can tell us about the trend of vacant seats कि किस country से कितना खाली रहता है, क्या trend रहता है और इसका वजह क्या है and आप यूनिवर्सिटी एज ए यूनिवर्सिटी आप इस पे क्या करें कि जो खाली सीट्स किन कंट्रीज से ज़्यादा रहती हैं?
नहीं, ऐसा है जो मैंने पहले बताया, क्योंकि हर देश का कोटा फिक्स है, इसलिए हमें एडमिशन उसी हिसाब से लेना पड़ता है। अब जिस भी देश की सीट खाली रह जाती है, उसका फार्मूला है कि वो किस देश को जाएगी। वो पहले भारत को नहीं जाएगी, सार्क के ही किसी दूसरे देश को जाएगी। ये फार्मूला फिक्स है, डिफाइंड है। उसके बाद यदि कोई सार्क देश का बच्चा किसी का भी एलिजिबल नहीं है, फिर वो भारत के छात्र को जा सकती है। ठीक है, दैट इज द फॉर्मूला। उसके बाद अब ये सारा प्रोसेस ओवरनाइट नहीं हो सकता, टाइम लगता है, बच्चा मन बनाने में टाइम लगता है, आने में टाइम लगता है, तो इसलिए कुछ सीटें खाली रह जाती हैं और ये वेरी करता रहा है। ऐसे 3 साल पहले शायद भूटान से काफी लोग आ पाते थे, अब बांग्लादेश से काफी आ पा रहे हैं, तो ये कंट्री टू कंट्री चेंज होता रहता है। और इसीलिए हमने इस साल ये सोचा कि हम सीटें ही 60 की बजाय 90 कर देते हैं, ताकि यदि 60 में से 42 भर्ती थी तो 90 में से 60 भर के हमारा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर तो यूज होगा, तो उसमें हर देश को थोड़ा थोड़ा फायदा हो जाएगा। दैट इज द स्पिरिट एंड दैट्स ऑल व्हाट वी कैन डू।
सर पाकिस्तान से सीट्स का कुछ बता सकते हैं डेटा?
पाकिस्तान से कम आ पा रहे हैं और अफगानिस्तान से बिल्कुल कम आ पा रहे हैं, नॉट फॉर द रीजन ऑफ एडमिशन बट फॉर मोस्टली दे डोंट गेट वीजा।
पाकिस्तान, अफगानिस्तान एंड बांग्लादेश।
हाँ,
एंड
बांग्लादेश से काफी आ रहे हैं।
अच्छा, वीजा इशू पाकिस्तान एंड अफगानिस्तान।
पाकिस्तान के एडमिशन होने के बाद भी वीजा कम होके आ रहे हैं।
वीजा प्रॉब्लम।
Thank you. Yes, the gentleman there, and then I'll come to you. Just please identify yourself.
This is Vasant Mohanty. I work for the Telegraph newspaper. Now, my question is that last year in 2022, many students were suspended and expelled because they protested and they demanded increase in their scholarship amount. Now, one of the criticism against this university is that this university is not tolerating dissent, any protest from students. For a protest, police is being called, and even though the protest hasn't taken violent turn, still police is being called. So why, on that I'll take your opinion. And also, will the university consider increasing the scholarship amount from 5,000 at masters and also 25,000 at PhD to make it at par with JRF level?
Okay. First thing I would like to say, with due apologies to all my press colleagues, when you frame a question, many students, word many should be understood. The number of students which are affected was 0.5%. So that cannot be called many. So if, and we also have to respect our students' feelings, but we cannot allow indiscipline of any sort also. Scholarship increase करने के बाद, whatever scholarship increase they wanted, the university ultimately did scholarship increase more than what they wanted. So scholarship is in quite a large amount. Increasing scholarships beyond this will not be feasible right now, because we are having a fund crunch at the moment because other countries are not paying. When our financial situation improves, to the extent, after all, this is not a profit-making institution. We'll be happy to give more and more scholarship to everybody, but for that, we have to wait for the funds. At the moment, we don't have. And students, whatever 2-3 students were affected, I think 2 of them have already joined back the university, and the third is pleasantly studying in UK. Okay, so nothing very serious.
There's a question from the back, and then I'll come back to you. Thank. There, please. I'll just request you to please identify yourself.
I'm MB Chandar from NK News. There are people here also. You are focusing there only for Q&A.
Sorry, my apologies.
There are people here raising many questions.
Yeah.
I visited your Akbarban campus many times for the last 12 years. I have sat in a library, small library also, read there also. The question is regarding this non-SARC countries 10% admission. Direct admission, on what basis you give admission? What test you conduct for non-SARC countries people? And for JEE and GATE score, what are the scores acceptable
Okay.
for admission?
Thank you. Can I request Professor Jain?
Yeah, so the admission to non-SARC country candidates, they are not done based on the entrance test. We invite their CV and the application, and the applications are sent to the concerned departments, and the departments take the application to their academic committee meeting, and based on the recommendation, then we send out the offers. So that's how it happens. Because, we cannot have entrance test in all the countries. So for non-SARC nation, there is no entrance test. We admit them directly based upon their qualifications and their biodata. Yeah. See, regarding BTech and MTech, since we are starting this year for the first time, we will have to see the trend of application that we will receive. And then only we will be able to say that what scores will be acceptable to us. That's what, yeah.
Yes, Here? Okay, please go ahead and then we'll come back to you, Shreya.
Sir, good afternoon.
Can I please request you, I'll just...
myself from World Media Views.
I would just request you, we are coming one by one, so I'll just...
Can I complete or give to anybody?
There's a mic there, sir, so I'll just come back to you. Yes, please.
Sir, good afternoon.
Thank you for your patience.
Myself Rakesh Sinha from Prabhat Khabar newspaper. सर अल्टीमेटली अभी जो चिंता पेरेंट्स की है वो प्लेसमेंट को लेके होती है कि डिफरेंट यूनिवर्सिटीज में क्या प्लेसमेंट है, कैसा है. तो सर हमारे यहाँ क्या प्लेसमेंट असिस्टेंस कुछ है या नहीं, और क्या रिकॉर्ड रहा है सर इसका पिछले कुछ सालों में?
Sir, with your permission, can I take two questions together? So in just the interest of time, Shreya.
Hello, I'm Shreya from the Times of India. So, Senthil sir highlighted several infrastructural developments that are happening. I wanted to know where will the new courses, the classes for these new courses will be held, and whether there will be certain faculty appointments for this. And have you all thought about any rational salary structure for the teachers at this point? Yeah.
Thank you.
I'll take both the questions. First is about the placement. Well, so far, whatever graduates have been there from this university, they have been placed very well, either in their own countries or wherever they wanted to go, USA, UK included. So there has been no sort of requirement of formal placement services as such. We have a counseling cell which is there in the university, which can discuss with the students various alternatives, guide him or her, but not the formal placement cell in the sense of what is very heavily going on in private universities in the country, because we don't still feel the need of it. And I personally feel a placement cannot be the priority number one for a university. It could be one of the desirable things. Second question, which has been put by you. Yes, we have enough academic buildings now. So we will brainstorm during the next 2-3 months and announce what could be the courses for the next year, which could be added on to it. Obviously, when we decide that, we will decide on the faculty required for that. And I'm sure as we have been able to have the best faculty so far attracted, we should be able to get the best faculty for the new faculties also. Salary structure, depending upon our financial situation, we will take it up in the governing board and decide on whatever is decided. But in any case, our salary structure will be better than most universities in India.
Thank you. Yes, you please go ahead and then I'll come back to you. Yeah, please.
निशा भारद्वाज फ्रॉम आकाशवाणी। सर एक्चुअली मैं जानना चाह रही थी कि एनवायरनमेंट जो है इस समय बहुत ही बड़ा कंसर्न है हम सभी के लिए, और इतने सारे जब कंट्रीज मिलके किसी एक प्लेटफॉर्म पर आकर काम कर रहे हैं, तो जानना ये चाहूँगी कि कुछ एनवायरनमेंट साइंस के लिए भी कुछ सोचा जा रहा है, कुछ कोर्सेज के लिए?
कुछ
एनवायरनमेंट साइंस।
इन्वायरमेंट साइंस एज सच अभी हमने नहीं सोचा, लेकिन जैसे मैंने कहा कि क्लाइमेट चेंज पे यदि हम काम करते हैं, सस्टेनेबिलिटी पे काम करते हैं, क्योंकि आई थिंक द पर्पस ऑफ दिस यूनिवर्सिटी इज स्लाइटली डिफरेंट. We are not really oriented towards degrees. We are oriented towards solution of the problems of the nations. So in that capacity, for example, you saw here, we have economics, but with a focus on economic development, because that is the requirement of the countries. So environment will probably come, definitely come, but may not be in the word of environment as such.
Thank you. There was a question from you. Yes, please. Please just identify yourself.
Yes, Aga myself from World Media Views.
Sure.
And I would like to know, previously you was having many projects and planning to open your campuses other than Delhi. So still you are having the planning and to open your campuses in India, various parts of India and outside of India.
Okay.
And second thing, sir, you are having the subject international relations, and you are teaching international organization, foreign policy, and international law, and many good subjects are there. So because now the diplomacy is turning towards the economic diplomacy, commerce diplomacy, do you have any focus to provide the syllabus subjects for the economic diplomacy, mining, and special focus on SAARC region, because there is a lots of changes in diplomacy and foreign policy?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. First of all, first question. Yes, our act provides for multiple campuses, but because the first campus itself was taking so much time, and obviously once the parent campus was not established, think of child campuses did not arise. But now I have opened up with all the member countries. If you want a campus, please let us know in which specialization, because we will like to have each campus as a niche campus for that country. If I open a campus in Nepal, it should serve the maximum interest of Nepal. If I campus in Bangladesh, it should serve the maximum interest of Bangladesh. So I'm in talk with the representatives of all these countries, and I hope in the next couple of years, at least a couple of campuses outside India will be operative. Within India, we have not thought of still, although we would probably be open to, if some institution is super specialized in some area which is of interest to us, we might collaborate with them to have a campus there. But so far, we have no formal discussion on another campus in India. Maybe it will take a year or so to do that, but we are open to this.
And with your permission, because I'm from the Department of International Relations,
that is the second question.
So we do have courses on economic diplomacy and political economy. In fact, today itself, the students would get an opportunity, for instance, to interact with Ambassador Lakshmi M. Puri, who's going to be talking about multilateralism, North-Side dialogue. So there is this diversity of courses that exist in the Department of International Relations. Please do visit our website and look at the number of courses that have been offered. So thank you for that.
Because the subject of international relations is and foreign policy diplomacy is centralized, if you see in the region.
Sure.
Because I would like to give an example of the Maldives, which is also a part of SAARC country, and all foreign policy and centralized on
Absolutely.
investigation.
We'd love to have that conversation and going. And on that note, with your permission, sir, if I can take this opportunity to thank each one of you for taking time out and making it convenient to attend this dialogue. And I would say sincerely hope that this is an ongoing process. We continue to look forward to have these conversations with you and carry our message across South Asia, build bridges across borders. And on that note, can I invite you to join us for lunch? There is a QR code on the admission brochure. You can scan that QR code and download a brochure. All other details would also be available on the website. The press release is there in the press kit. Please do not hesitate to reach out to our public relations officer if you have any further questions. Thank you so much. Anji? Acha.